Alright, well, I wanted to show off some of my 3D models, and so let's go and do that. Mouse cursor is a little flickery, so forgive me if I can't see what I'm doing. Alright, well, here's a helmet that I was working on for a character, an alien cop, based off of, or inspired from, like Master Chief or Doom or anyone like that. That was his helmet. Alright, well, let's see what else we got. We got this model inspired from a little short made in Blender years and years ago. I wanted to remake the character, and here's how he turned out. Pretty sure he is, yeah, he's fully rigged, ready to go. Pretty neat little guy. Alright, a 3D model of a battle droid that I made. He is fully rigged. He's ready to go. These are his knees, I guess. Fully closable. Here's a 3D model of a T-Rex that I made. I started him off with a box for the body, and I extruded out the tail, extruded out the neck, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't even remember how I did it, but I thought he was pretty cool. The T-Rex I made, he's pretty low poly, obviously, but he looks cool. I was very happy with him. I also got this horse that I made. I was very happy with how he turned out. Yeah, I got a model of him rigged, but I had put his legs in backwards, so his knees bent wrong. But we got, yeah, a less fancy version. I went in and added more detail. Very happy with how he turned out. I don't know if he's movie ready or game ready, but he's cool. Very happy with how he turned out. Here's the alien that was supposed to wear that helmet that I showed you a while back. He's fully rigged, and he's ready to go. Oh. I use the same technique for almost all my armatures, and I like how animator friendly he is, I guess. Like, yeah, his feet stay put and his hands stay put. You can move the body around. Don't think, yeah, you can kind of rotate his hips, but that was something that I learned how to do better later. So this guy doesn't have it, but I like how his head stays still too. Not a lot of rigs use that, but I thought that was kind of nifty. Pretty handy. I think I used it for the feet as well. So like you can, I don't know. You move this around, his feet would typically bend all around, but I got that lock thing down so that you can rotate it by itself. So yeah, he was supposed to wear that helmet. He's a little alien character me and my sister created. So here is a fake water simulation using metaspheres or metaballs, whatever you call it. It's using a particle system. When you hit play, it behaves kind of like water, or a lot like water. You can move it around, kind of see it in action. Very happy with how that turned out. You can come down here and where is it? I'm not really familiar with the new Blender, so forgive me that it takes me a minute to figure out what I'm doing. But so like we can add increase random. Oh, here the amount. Let's bring that like up a lot. This is kind of cool. Now when we hit play, we move it around. Yeah, that is so cool. I was very happy with how that turned out. And it kind of disappears too soon, so Bring up the lifetime to 100. Now we'll move that around. I don't know, I think that's really cool. A particle system, not using water at all. It behaves a lot like water. I'm pretty sure it behaves better in this blender than it did the blender that I made it in, which was a really old version of Blender. But yeah, I really like that. That's cool. Alright, what else do we got? So here was a breast rig that I was working on. It's really weird the way that it works. These bones are tracking a vertex group in this plane that I have set to wireframe. So the right breast is facing this right vertex here in this plane, and same with the left breast, left vertex. So when you hit play, you can see that it kind of bounces. Let's select the bone. So you hit play, and then you'll realize when you move it around, you kind of get this jiggle because the bones are facing the vertices, and then that plane has a soft body applied to it. So I don't know how realistic that is, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. There's a little test. Just a little test. Here is a 3D model that I was working on of Godzilla. Didn't get very far on him. I had a Godzilla puppet that I thought was really cool, and I lost it over the years, so I was like, maybe I can replicate him in Blender. And I honestly have no idea how much that looks like him because I do not have a reference to look at. That was all by memory. Here is a rat model character inspired by Flushed Away. I thought that was pretty neat. It was really simple to create, so I just thought it's really easy to make, so I made him. Thought he was kind of neat. Here's a very silly looking dragon that I made, just out of my own imagination. It's really easy to model. Yeah, really simple, really silly. Here is a motorcycle that I made an animator, and I started with Animator when I started modeling fairly decent, and my dad gave me a copy of Blender, and so I had to put the motorcycle in Blender. It looks way better in Blender. I had no reference pictures. I did have a weird little G.I. Joe motorcycle toy that I looked at to make this. So yeah, there's that. I guess it looks kind of like a cross between a motorcycle and a dirt bike. I don't know. It's kind of it's one of my earlier models. Kind of cool. Here is a lion head I made an animator, and I brought it over to Blender. He almost looks like he'd be a logo, like that. And I don't have some sort of title. I don't know. He's pretty neat. I made him an animator, brought him over into Blender. A low poly car that I made. Pretty sure I made this in Blender. Really low poly. Yeah, there's that. So here is a Scooby-Doo model that I made in Blender a long time ago. And when I reopened him, I realized he only kind of looks like Scooby-Doo. He looks kind of like Scrappy-Doo, and he has a huge unibrow. Really kind of silly. But I knew he was off to a good start, so I altered him a little bit to look more like Scooby-Doo. And came up with this. That one looks a little bit more like Scooby-Doo. We got separate eyebrows, darker color, got the spots going on. Fairly low poly. I'm pretty sure he has a modifier on him. Yeah. He had a modifier on him, so he's really, really low poly. Almost looks like something you'd find in a PlayStation 2 game. But I made him. Made him Subsurf ready. Not great, but not bad. It's Scooby-Doo. A Master Chief helmet that I made, which to this day impresses me a lot because I don't know how I understood the details and wireframe. This is also a low poly model. Looks mind-blowingly good for it to be me. I don't know. I'm really proud of it. Looks like I copied it out of the game, I think. Got these cheekbones. It just... I don't know, that impresses me so much. I did such a good job. And these models are so old. None of these are recent models. I do have a couple recent models that I will show you more towards the end of this video. I'll explain that more when I get there. Here is the Dalek that I was working on from Doctor Who. He's really low poly. Not bad detailed. It's one of my earliest models I made in Blender. He's rigged. He's ready to go. I don't know what a Dalek is supposed to be able to do, but this Dalek can do it. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but... Alright, that was all with the older version of Blender. With the later version of Blender, I've made a very few models. I wouldn't mind showing those off real quick. My brother is working on a game inspired by traditional claymation cartoons. So he needed some claymation style characters for his game. And he needed a Santa Claus, and I made him a Santa Claus to kind of resemble the Santa Claus from the Rudolph claymation. Here is my Santa Claus. Low poly. I really like the way he turned out. He has a style to him I really like. I don't know. I didn't give him the belt buckle, which was later added. And I didn't give him white fluffy cuffs around his sleeves, which was later added for his game. But yeah, I really like that. That turned out really cool. I don't know if I got anything else with the later version of Blender that I could show you. Here is a female model that I made in an early version of Blender. It took a lot of work to figure out how to open her up in a later version, so when I figured it out, I saved her file over again to have the new model. But I made this. One of my better made models. Yeah, so that was my small collection of models that I wanted to show off. Alright guys, well that was a small collection of models that I have made over the years. I appreciate you watching. If you like what you've seen, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. I would appreciate a thumbs up, hit the like button. Well, more videos like this should be coming. Thank you very much.